Second one's coming up for the Utah Hockey Club as they're facing the defending Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers tonight, 10 o'clock Eastern. After that, it's the San Jose Sharks on Friday, the beginning of a back-to-back. They got the Islanders on Saturday. Then next week, the resurgent Montreal Canadiens, the flailing New York Rangers on a Thursday, and the St. Louis Blues on a Saturday night. We mentioned all that because Utah is just 4 points out right now of the playoff spot. A pleasure to bring in their head coach, André Tourigny, who joins us right now. André, obviously, there's been a lot of buzz around Utah, having hockey there in the mountains. We'll get to all that in just a second. But what's it like right now pushing with this team? As I mentioned, 4 points of a playoff spot and those key games coming up.
Yeah, I think, we had a tough schedule in the last month and a little bit more. So I think getting out of that tough stretch and the position we are in, we're excited about it. I think we improve as a team since the start of the season by the way we played, and our numbers got better and everything. So we're really positive going in the next stretch.
Well, Coach, you got a big homestand coming up, a lot of home games coming up. You guys have actually been better on the road, but is there anything to being, at your home rink that you think can give you an advantage as you look ahead at the schedule?
Yeah, I first of all, we love to play at home. I think if you have a chance to come at the Delta Center, you will see the atmosphere. The fans are electric, and there's a real buzz around the team. So that's fun. Having that said, you're right. We haven't been as successful as we wish, but we like I said, we played really high-end opponent. We played good games, even if we didn't came up with the result we wanted. So. Hopefully, we turn that around in the next few games.
Yeah, hopefully that road record, as you can see right now, will translate as well, because it's interesting as far as the goals per game. It seems fairly close, but the wins and losses haven't been quite the same. It's been interesting just seeing hockey in Utah, Coach. And again, you at least were fortunate because you were there, the head coach in Arizona. You signed the extension, so you knew you were going with this team to Utah. What's that change been like, going from the desert to the mountains?
Well, it's always I always careful when I talk about that in the sense of Arizona. The people in Arizona treat us right, and the fans were great. And I don't want to talk about Arizona on the wrong way. Having that said, since we're here, it's magical. I think the relationship we have with the fans, the ownership, the way they treat us, and everything's going on around the team, the management and everything. It give us for sure a boost. Like, it's so energizing to be in that kind of environment and to have the fans, like I said earlier. And when you're in the building, you feel the emotion, you feel the passion, you feel the electricity in the building. So for sure, for us, it's really motivating, and you cannot do otherwise than feeling good about it.
Well, you guys are a real up-and-coming team. You look at all the draft picks that, Bill Armstrong and the group have acquired over the years, and some of the picks that you've made, guys that aren't even there yet, but that are going to be coming in the next few years, has got to be pretty exciting to think about. Some of the younger guys you have now, though, like Dylan Guenther, even Clayton Keller, who's kind of young but been in the league a while. Michael Kesselring making a big impression for you guys on the blue line. How much fun is it as a coach to get to coach these young players and see them excel at this point in their career?
It's fun because you see them being driven and wanting to be better and wanting to establish themselves and grow their game and stuff like that. When we talk, funny because we talk about Keller and Sergachev like they were longtime veterans. They're 26 years old. They're still really young, and you have a lot of guys like that in our team. So we're a young team, and you mentioned it, and I think you're perfectly right. We have other talent who are not in the team yet, but they are in the system. And we have good player in Tucson. We have good player in junior. We have good player in Europe. So we want to grow in every sense in our organization within our system.
I'm curious about your own journey, Coach. Obviously, you've been a head coach for a few seasons now, but previously you were an assistant with the Ottawa Senators and the Colorado Avalanche. How did those experiences help you to get to where you are today?
Well, I think all your journey made you who you are. I've been lucky to work with Patrick Roy, Joe Sakic, Adam Foote in Colorado, and then working with Brian Murray, Dave Cameron, and Jason Smith, and all those guys with the Senators. And then all of my experience with the Hockey Canada, I've been with the program for I think it's 11 or 13 tournaments. So there's a lot of great coach I've been around. There's a lot of guys who won Stanley Cup, guys who won championship, and plus the conference or the get together you have with this during the summer with those guys, plus the management, the Doug Armstrong and other guys I've been fortunate to work with Hockey Canada. So I think all of that, it's what builds you, and you learn from a little bit everybody. And I think that is, I've been fortunate. I always say that.
Well, Coach, I don't just say this because you're nice enough to join us on the show today, but when your name does come up in conversations I have with people, they speak glowingly of you. One friend of mine who you know, Charles McTavish, was a goaltending coach with you with the 67s for a little bit and the Arizona organization as well. I had dinner with him last week, and he just had the best things to say about his time that he spent with you. What's it been like for you as you get to this team now in this organization? You watch a guy like Karel Vejmelka and the organization in Utah with Ingram and the resurgence that he's had in his career as well. Karel Vejmelka, I mean, what can you say about what he's done for your team this season?
You know what? It's great because a lot of people talk about Veg like if he just arrived, but if you look 3 years ago, his first year in the league, it's been pretty good. Second year in the league, been pretty good. Last year, he was okay, did not have an outstanding year. But this year, the consistency he had all the way through the first portion of the season, it's been great. Honestly, every night he give us a chance. He is a really good pro, really good prep. Every practice, every day, he prepare himself the right way. So, and there's no bad day in Veggie's life. Veggie every day smile, show up at the rink, do the right thing. So it's fun to be around him, and it's great to see him get a reward for it.
It's always good to have an attitude like that. I'm just curious, Coach, because of the fact with your ties from Quebec, I was just in Montreal. I was there for the game last night. Mike used to live for Montreal in a few years. What is it about Quebec and hockey? How could you explain it to somebody who doesn't know? Because when I'm there, I can just feel that passion's in the bones of all the people there.
The French passion, the French people are so passionate about their team, and we often say our blood is not flowing, is boiling in our. It's the way we're wired. We're high passionate people, and when we like, when we don't. That goes both ways.
Well, Coach, I can't let you go without asking you a question about numbers. Work in analytics, as I think you know, and we did a data cast for the Utah regional broadcast on December 18th, the game against the Canucks that you came back and won. We had great quotes from Bill Armstrong talking about kind of how he views analytics and applies numbers. I think fans would be interested to know, as a coach, is there data-driven messages you give your team? And what are some of the numbers that you get from your analytics staff that you really think are valuable for allowing you to do your job the best you can?
Yeah, I'm big on numbers. I think it's as you have the video, you have your eyes, and you have all the numbers you can get. And I think it's not one more important than the other. For me, it's a trio, and we use the three of them. I use a ton for the opponent, for our team, analyzing our performance. On the individual performance, you need to be careful because one game or 5 games, it can be matchup related. It might have been, for whatever reason, something. You had a 3 bad shift in the game. You give 7 scoring chance on those 3 shifts. Why? You have a stretch of 5 games, you're screwed. There's nothing you can do to recover. So you need to be careful on the individual side and look at the long run. But in terms of team performance, example, I was just before the interview, I was working on Florida pre-scout, what Geo, our analytic guys, provide to us, and looking at their numbers and what they're good at. And I think that gives you a really good indication of what they are, what they do. So now, that doesn't tell you how to defend against that or to exploit certain things. Now you need to use video and your eyes to find the solution. But the numbers are the numbers. They're number one in forecheck chances. There we go. They're number one at creating shot off loose puck recovery in the offensive zone. Okay. Now you need to look at the video. You need to look at what you see and figure it out why and what can we do against that and stuff like that. But I use numbers for that post-game review. Where were we good? Where were we not? So yeah, I like it a lot. But I think if that has to be somewhere in your priority. But if that goes too high, at some point you're wrong. Now you lose perspective. I think, yeah, numbers are numbers. There's not always a logic in the numbers. So you need to use your logic to know, okay, that's why it did happen. Example, for 3 times in the game, I made a mistake as a coach to miss my matchup, and now you have your that player who played against Nate McKinnon for 3 shifts, and they give up maybe 1 goal, or maybe it's only 2 scoring chance, but that as well screwed the numbers here. Though, whoa, okay, they were not that bad. They just got outmatched for 2 shifts, and that affect the numbers. So you always need to have perspective on the numbers and not take the numbers for cash all the time. But at the same time, you need to look at it, because sometimes it directs you to look somewhere you didn't think about.
It's an integral part of the game. There's no question about it. Last thing for you, Andre. You can take the man out of Quebec, but you can't take the Quebec out of the man. Is there any place that I could find poutine in Utah?
No, I didn't find poutine in Utah, but they're cheese curds. So we buy cheese here. We brought the sauce from home, so we have a few at home. Once in a while, my wife doesn't mind a little poutine. So
I love it.
You get a little coach's stand in the Delta Center somewhere for the fans, right? You can tell them how to do poutine down there.
Yeah, maybe the coach would spend too much time there.
You'd be working on the recipe for the poutine rather than the recipe for winning on the ice. Andre, obviously we're rooting for you. Great stuff so far with Utah. Thanks so much for a few minutes, and good luck tonight.
Thank you, guys. Have a good one.